our guest this morning is a regular for Wednesdays, talking about the State Director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, Otwekon Franklin is on. He's our guest this morning, so let's hit the ground running. Otwekon, officially, good morning and welcome.
So today we didn't need to collect card.
Good morning, Ike. Good morning, amazing, and happy birthday to all our listeners. Those ones you've been able to
today is my birthday. The interest in birthdays today.
So happy birthday to all of them. So good to be here.
Okay, so Otwekon, let's get straight to it. Yesterday's the newspapers were awash, especially the local papers, with Obolo people saying, let me take precisely the Daily News Wire, with a centerpiece here and a map. It says, Eastern Obolo stakeholders kick against remapping. That's as the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly will be holding that public hearing, which they held yesterday. And I think one of the headlines, if I can get that paper, I think it must have been the bulgy eyes, that they said they will fight with every last blot. But we're going, to the best of your knowledge, what exactly is going on with this remapping? And
where is it even coming from?
Yes, speculations are that certain aspects of the land are to be ceded to only God knows who. What's really going on here? I know that you have a keen eye for things like this. So what do you know that we can talk about this land issue?
I just think those who are using this mapping discussion to hit up the polity just trying to, and we made our own position in the House of Assembly stakeholders meeting. Akwa Ibom State was created on the 23rd of September 1987. It's over 40 years now, if you check the records.
87?
Yeah,
87 is not up to 40.
Okay, I just check about 40 years.
It's roughly 35 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could see that we don't have a map. I challenge anybody who says anything to the contrary to come up with it. There is no map in Akwa Ibom. We don't have a clear map. Like when they say Akwa Ibom map, official map of the state, you don't have. What you could have could just be a drawing that is not official, that is not gazetted. Like the Udom government came up and we now came up and said we should have an anthem. We have an anthem now that we can now be singing for Akwa Ibom State. We have our own
creed.
Yeah, creed. So this map is the one that the government now wants us to have, official map that is gazetted for the state. You have some other states that have similar map. So those bringing up this issue are just easy to hit up the polity for one political reason or the other. Yesterday, our position was very clear in the bill.
That is in the public hearing. That was
public hearing in the House of Assembly. Yes, yeah. I will just go through. I will just read a very short. Because for us, it wasn't a very, a very serious issue from what we saw. So the current position, the Center for Human Rights gave a nod for Akwa Ibom State to have its own gazetted map. Mark the word, gazetted map, right? Official map. I made I read our own position. I was accompanied by our legal secretary, Comrade Barrister Ubong of Young, to the event. And like we have said, the state was created by Ibrahim Badamasu Babangida on the 23rd September 1987. There is no official map for the state that has been. And every one of us have our own survey plan in our houses. I have my house is surveyed. I can tell you my own map, how it looks. So here is a state that has no map, has no official map that we can say this is our own map. That's one. And you could see the ethnic and communal clashes you have. Because people would just come up and say, my grandfather told me this was our boundary. My grandmother said this was the boundary. My ancestors used to farm here. My late dad used to, put this idol here, put this tombstone. He was buried in this place. That is, you'll be having communal conflict in the state. And it becomes difficult to even actually resolve this dispute. So what the House of Assembly is seeking to do is to now enact a law after a bill which will now be given assent to by the governor to become a law to now authorize the Surveyor General to be able to draw up a map for the state. Mark the word. I use my word guidedly. Draw up a map. There is no map wheresoever. This is the first time we'll be having a map for the state. So the bill is in line with Section 8 of our Constitution. You can check it, what it says. The work of the Surveyor General of a state is to come up with a map of what is the state, how the state looks. And then this map will now be, having been passed, will now become official map of the state that will now be gazetted by the state government. So when you have ethnic conflict, when you have dispute, communal clash has to do with issue of boundaries, it becomes easier for the government to intervene and resolve. When you have misgivings about which farm is this, it belongs to where. Even yesterday, somebody said a particular community is carved into our neighboring community. I don't want to call the name, Abia. Is seeded into Abia state. And so he said the police station there, the divisional police station there, is supposed to be named for Akwa Ibom, but it is named for the local government that is in Abia state. So when the community that is in Akwa Ibom has issues of crime or whatever, they will now be made to report to the DPO, which is in the other local government area, because the police post is sited in the local government area where it belongs to Abia. So if you have a conflict between Akwa Ibom citizen and the citizen of Abia state in that community, the only police station that they have here is in Abia. They will come in there, pick the person, and then of course, you know what that means. So you could see that our community is ceded to our neighboring states, and you can't actually claim. We have, you could recall that I led my team. Then we went to Ini in Kari when there were crisis between Abia and Akwa Ibom. I've been to the war scene, the crisis scene. Could see how people have been killed, maimed because of communal crises that have lingered for years. NBC, Nigerian National Boundary Commission, had come severally to the state to resolve this dispute. But shamefully for us, we don't have our own map. Abia State has their own map. And in their own map, they cede our own area to their own state. So when we are asked to produce our own map, we don't have a map. So how do you now be able to claim what you don't have, a survey plan for? Because it becomes difficult for you to lay claim to it. Yeah, so we are losing these areas to the neighboring. Let me explain. To the neighboring states.
I was just going to drop something and then let you continue with your explanation. Now, as they say, there's no smoke without fire.
Yes.
Some of these speculations, even if it's not 100%, there could be some atom or element of verifiable truth in these allegations. Now, what this concerned persons from the Ubolo area are saying is that a certain land of theirs with special interest is about to be seized.
Can I help you? You see, I am not speaking as a journalist here. I'm speaking as someone who has lived in Akwa Ibom State since the state creation. Even my community, we have land dispute. In my community, where I'm from, we have land dispute with our neighboring village. And the history shows that those villages are carved out of our own village. Now, we also have omitted villages that are not officially known villages in the state. We also have omitted clans that are not officially gazetted in the state government bylaw. You understand? How will you address these issues of omitted villages, omitted clans, and boundary issues? Nobody anywhere can come and take your land and give to A, take A land and give to B in this particular issue. By the time this bill is passed, the governor gives assent to it. The Surveyor General is now empowered to be able to come up with a map. She will not sit in her office in Uyo and begin to drop a map. she has to go to the communities that are warring communities now to be able to verify. There are checklists that will be used to be able to draw up a boundary between two communities. There are some checklists that are there, ancestral landmarks that are going to be, seen. I have a land dispute in my village, for instance. I have people who are witnessing for me in the community court. Those people by people of this family. So you could see that my uncles, you understand? My uncles are also having their own farms there, their own farmland there. How come you from another family come and own your own farmland there? So it becomes very easier to explain that my late dad gave out the land and collected money. Just hold the land, give me some money, let me use it and solve my immediate need. So those kind of things are what I'm saying. So when the Surveyor General begin to enter into communities to check, to be able to draw up the boundaries, there will be landmark, there will be ancestral, item that will be seen. So nobody from anywhere, she will not stay in her office in Uyo and decide that my community belongs to this community. No. So those who are saying that oil wells are going to be shifted from one local government to the other, it's not done. It's not done that way. And those are just given out to incite communities against their neighboring communities.
One would also ask, the intention may be genuine, but timing will bring curiosity.
What do you mean by timing? I want to understand.
Good. When I say timing, why is it at the tail end of this administration? It is quite suggestive, even to people who will probably think, okay, no biggie. But some persons will look at it, but you not do it for 7 years, going to 8 years. You're about to exit office and you're about to do it. That may, I'm not saying, that may, I will use this word now, allegedly lay claim to the allegation that there is a clandestine intention to cede, as it were, certain interests with land to some persons. Because if this thing had been done earlier than now, whatever clandestine motive that people are already insinuating is behind this intention would have been doused.
You see, I don't like discussing speculations. I like discussing facts. That's why I go to the field and I come out and say this is what it is. The House of Assembly has every community represented. And this is a bill that is before the House of Assembly. And the Assembly has done public hearing yesterday. Why? Because they want to collate the input from the public. Before a bill becomes a law, there are steps. And part of the step include public forum, public hearing that the Assembly will organize. If you have any fears, like it was expressed yesterday at the public forum, there were also fears, like you are saying. Some persons thought that the public forum was meant to announce that this community belongs to this community. They came with judgment from the ancient court, from the British government, our Greater Masters.
Colonial masters.
That this court decided this. And but for I think there is no need for such tension to be raised. Now the issue of timing, no time can be best suited for issues like this. As far as people are already misled and they have preconceived opinion, like you have mentioned, it came up last year, right? And it's been there. The issue of this boundary dispute has been always reoccurring. So it wasn't just issue of last year or year before. I had gone to Nkari severally to see, to see what's happening in that community. I also gone to Mbo, where you have community clashes among the Imbos within the Imbo, in community in Imbo, where you have killings and the rest. I've gone to Ika. I've gone to virtually every community. You have conflict. You have one in Eket, and even now, I have gone to these areas. And how do you resolve? How do you resolve it? You have the deputy governor who is the chairman of the State Boundary Commission. How does he handle these issues? So what they do is only to postpone the evil day. They only do patch. They only do makeshift, arrangement. They put security men on ground to checkmate those who will cause violence. But how do you give permanent solution to these issues? That's the point. So because everybody lay claim.
A map.
That's it. Everybody has a claim. Has a claim to land. Has a claim to this thing. But do you have your facts? If you are to even speak about claims, do you have facts? When you go before the court of law, you need facts to be able to say these are the facts backing my own claims. I have told you that, for instance, currently I have a land dispute that I am, into in my community, and the whole of that particular, farm land, that area, are farmed by my uncles and aunties, and there's someone from another family that my dad gave land to came and owned that land, said it is his own. How did you get it? My dad gave it to you. Take money, give me this land. After a while, give me back the land. And so they want the land to lost. So now I now have witnesses that come and say this land here belongs to this particular family because they are the ones that are all there dominant. You must have landmarks. You must have ancestral, tombs to show that these are the boundaries. So it's not something you just sit in your house. I said my father told me that this is this. You don't have to be told. Okay. You have to also have facts to back up your claims.
So, you know that in resolving this problem, in proper mapping, in many of the states that have had to do mapping at some point, there is no way you will solve this problem without take or leave offending one or two persons. So if mapping will bring a solution to this constant boundary crisis, I support it. But truth is, in solving this problem, you are most likely also going to cause another problem.
Okay. Now, yes, I agree with you. There is that likelihood for people to be aggrieved and for people to feel that they are denied of their right. Like I have just said, Nigeria has a map, right?
Yeah, there is.
That shows our borders with Cameroon, our borders with Ghana, Niger, and the rest, Chad and so. Even when you go to the Niger Republic, you will see a big wall demarcating Nigeria and Niger and Togo. There's no big wall. For people just stroll over. That's why you have these people coming in, to commit crime and then go back. Now, even at that, in the eyes of the world, we have a map that demarcates us and Niger and Chad and the rest. Do you have in the Nigerian map that shows Akwa Ibom boundaries with other communities? Within Akwa Ibom, do you have a map that shows my local government boundary with another local government, my clan with another clan, my village with another village? The answer is no. The reason why you have let's keep them between Nigeria, Chad, Nigeria, Niger, Nigeria, Cameroon is because that map is there. That issue of Bakassi Peninsula is not what happened. They said Nigeria gave it to Cameroon. It was given to Cameroon. That was what was said in the egg. Not because Cameroon owns it, because Nigeria gave it to Cameroon and agreement showed that Nigeria gave it to Cameroon. So what we are saying is, if there is no map, you are building your house, you don't have a map in your house, even your house where you are living, your neighbors could lay claim to that land and others could also intrude. So we support that, that is our own group, support mapping of the state, and we call on the Solicitor General to be conscious and to be sincere to her conscience. When this is to be done, she has to go to the sites, go to the villages concerned, lead a team of neutral people who are not from the community, and go to the communities, meet with the village heads, meet with family heads, meet with those concerned, and be able to see the landmark, the tombs that are erected as boundaries of communities. And then at the end of the day, we can now have a permanent solution to this particular issue of mapping. And then the crisis that we have suffered for years would have been addressed. And the issue of timing can never be best than now, because already this same government that is exceeding has given us a creed, has given us, what again, an anthem. And so if the government chooses to give us a map, I don't see anything wrong with it. As far as it will not bring ethnic tension, it will not bring ethnic distrust, it will not bring violence, I think it's okay to have a map.
So to put this matter to rest, so that Amazing can take us to the next conversation, I will agree with you on these terms, that the people who are going to do the mapping will be neutral persons without interest. And then the persons who are going to work with them will also be neutral who do not have interest. Because, of course, where there is interest, you are definitely going to have an infringement.
No, you see, the moment you have interest, even as a judge, once you are interested party, you are asked to recuse yourself from the matter, even as a judge in the court of law. So whoever that will be in a committee that will be set up, in fact, I will advocate that the civil society group should be part of such a committee, because we have no interest. Our interest is the state.
And then the persons who will do the mapping should be investigated too.
They should not have any interest in any of the communities.
My investigation
and what that is
for
done,
background checks,
yes,
to be sure that there is no interest, because
somebody
you
must
cannot be too sure.
No, you see, Ike, the truth is,
can't
like,
be too sure.
No, you see, Akwa Ibom said it's just one family. It is difficult for you to say, I don't have a link or a connection in Obodokara, because I could have a friend who is from there. I could have an in-law. I could have, someone who is married to that community. I could have someone in Ibno. I could have someone in Imbo. I have friends in Imbo. I have friends in so that could be my interest. But what should guide the process should be that the process should be done devoid of influence from any of this interest.
Okay, that's it. Amazing. I think you're taking us to politics now.
Okay, yes, I taking us to